What's happening, everybody? I know this is kind of different, odd, but welcome to GRG Extra, the first episode. I know that I kind of done a little bit. I've said GRG Extra maybe sometime last year when we had a little bit of some other stuff going on, and it used to be back in the days GRG Uncut when we had other panelists who used to come on to the show, but it is now officially GRG Extra. This is something new. I want to try to bring in some people that's maybe not familiar, or you guys may not know that's been that want to talk in the gaming space, or maybe just somebody that just unexpected, just different people to come in and we just talk about stuff. I don't know if Saturdays is going to be the designated days, but it was just kind of like I said last night. Some people just can't make it to GRG on Fridays. So therefore, I'm just kind of like just accommodate and work with them so we can all have a gaming discussion because there was a lot of stuff to talk about. And then there was some other stuff that came up last night and today that I definitely want to talk about with you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this started. First off, we got to do ladies first. So again, even though she's a Packers fan, it's going to be a rough night for me, ladies and gentlemen. But regardless, I'm just going to call her by her real name. Michelle, thank you. I'm not even going to give her little title. You know what I'm saying? The Packer fan, that's her name. You go ahead and get your
He's
little
gonna put
win.
her government out there like that, bro.
What? I'm just saying
That's
Michelle.
okay.
I'm just saying Michelle, the Packer fan. So, all right. Michelle, how you doing? Welcome back.
Doing
Congratulations on
quite
your
well,
win.
for a Packer win and everything. What more can you want?
Uh,
Mitchie Dies a Lot on YouTube, and then Mitchie71 on Twitter and Facebook, I believe, and Instagram.
yes, Minchie.
That's all I got. No YouTube channel.
Yes.
I don't have that kind of time.
You don't have that type of time? Oh man.
I don't
come
have
on.
that kind of time.
I don't either, but I still try to do it. So anyway, but no, Mitchie, die twice. I think that's the full name, right?
Mitchie Dies a Lot.
Mitchie dies a lot. Mitchie dies twice. That's why I just said Michelle because I was just remembering what was on the DM. So that's why it threw me off last night. Like, what is this? But Mitchie dies a
Hey,
lot. What? What was you gonna say? What was you gonna say?
sounds like me when I play a game.
I know, right?
X-Man dies a lot.
Yeah. So let's go on and get to the next person, man. My main man Logan, a fellow Oklahoman. This man here, man, he does some really good stuff. I mean, if you want to let people know about what you do for your real job, that would be great. If not, that's not. I will not disclose it. But man, it's good for the first time to have you on GRG, man. I hope this won't be the last time. And man, like I said, another fellow Oklahoma Boomer Sooner. Let's go, Thunder up! What's happening, Logan? What's going on? Let everybody know about you, brother.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm a Oklahoman born and raised, Thunder up and
Woo!
Boomer Sooner all the way. And
Woo!
I cover the Thunder actually for Bricktown Buckets, and I have done writing in the past for Daily Thunder, and I have my own game site that I write for. Haven't done as much lately, but Pixel Owl, and have not done too many podcasts on this so far.
Right, nice. Well, that's we try to get you introduced, get you out there. I know that you was on some other podcasts out there. Much respect due to my main man Pete TK Blam. I know that's why I'm saying like it's so crazy because there's podcasts all over the place and you don't want to touch on everybody's toes. And I would have done this right after grown women gaming and did it around that time, but because of the Rams game, it just kind of fell into place like that. So again, apologize to don't want to step on anybody's toes that's having their show tonight, but I'm glad for you guys to be here and do this. And then another newcomer. Well, he's not really so much a newcomer because you see him on Fight Night Sundays, and he's all over the place. I've seen him on Crossfire. He's come on next podcast, and man, he's the elder statesman, man. Warm welcome from my main man, Sir X-Man. What's up with you, brother?
Hello, everybody. I am the co-sponsor along with KMEGA of Fight Night. Hope to see you guys there Sunday, jamming with us and having some fun. And if you got the game, come on in. Just want to play some games whenever I get a chance. Y'all know how work is sometimes when you get older. That chance gets further and further away. That's pretty much it. Let's just have some fun and do the show.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And then last but not least, oh, one of the members of the GRG podcast himself. He came in, wanted to talk about some stuff. with us. So what's going on with you, Slayer? Welcome back, man. What's up?
Man, I've been doing nothing but gaming all day when that's Cyberpunk, man. I'm straight chilling, relaxed. So we got more topics because that's just how that goes. So let's hit them up.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's hit them up. Let's hit them up. All right, cool. But first, let me go. The friendly neighborhood blue shell. What's up with you, partner? What's going on? He
Ooh.
says before I go to work, I must say that Aaron Rodgers is the ruiner of football dreams. KMEGA, I feel your pain, brother. I listen. It's the boogeyman.
Ram
That's
slam.
that yeah
Ram
yeah
slam.
yeah. He's the boogeyman. He's got everything that he needs right now to make that big Super Bowl run to get him, uh, one more ring for Green Bay because I don't think he's going to be here too much longer. He could, I don't know, but I'm not going to make it a sports show. This is basically, what I'm saying. But hey, look, like I said, congratulations to Green Bay. I knew it was going to be a really tough game, so it is what it is. But they did break our Rams' heart, but it is what it is. But all right, let's get to the very first topic. Um, Okay, so CD Projekt Red. All right, so their stocks have dropped after more fallout over Cyberpunk 2077. The question I have, and I'm gonna go to Logan first because I talked to you yesterday, Minchie, but not so much about this, but I'll come to you next on this. But Logan, on this one, I mean, what do you think, man? Is this an opportunity? Because there's also been rumors that there's been talks for people wanting to go after CD Projekt Red, and does this make them vulnerable? Is this one of those opportunities where now, since they've fallen from grace pretty much after The Witcher 3, and now it's also been stated that there's been some extra stuff that's been came out about them not that they were disingenuous with their were at E3, and their showing of Cyberpunk at E3 that year was fake. It had nothing to do with the game. So, what do you think? Is this the opportunity to where somebody could go and snatch them up, or do you think that they'll be all right at the end of the day?
I think it's mainly up to them. I think they would probably be much more open to acquisition at this time now that they've taken a massive hit to their reputation. Their stocks are falling. There's a lot of mistrust. I know he's not everybody's favorite, but Schreier had an article in Bloomberg that kind of tore him to shreds about a bunch of stuff behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Then their president had to come out today and kind of sidestep it a little bit. And it's just for a team that had so much goodwill from last generation with The Witcher 3, one of the best games I've ever played. It basically just evaporated all that with one just colossal mistake after another with the launch of this, like delaying the game. And then, well, actually, the next gen patch isn't going to come till a whole year later. And then just a whole bunch of just scuzzy kind of stuff. If they were to be acquired, I think now would be the time. But I don't think they're at risk of like a hostile takeover or anything like that. It would be more of a like say an Xbox or a Tencent or a Google or an Amazon, somebody with deep pockets that really wants a premier studio that's kind of hit a rough patch. Now would be the time to get them. Absolutely, buy low and build them back up. But at the end of the day, their value is still incredibly high. So I don't know if I would say they're more at risk right now, but I'd say it's more likely than ever before that they could be acquired now.
That's a great point. That's a great point. All right. What about you, Minchie? Now, on top of this is we know that they're falling from grace, but there's also some other information that came out here as well, where from there was a non-Polish staffer that shared some stories about what happened, and they said that the company violated rules and made him feel ostracized, and they said that the co-workers for that person made was talking shit about him. That is his actual words, and he said that everyone here speaks English uh, during meetings. Every company-wide email announcement is in English. It's all mandatory. Rule is a thumb. And you then when the people that after the meetings would talk about that person in their given language behind their back. But again, it's like he just wanted to come out and just say that that the scale of what was going on and with especially with the whole fake the fake demo, and then getting all of the writers and everybody excited about what's to come for Cyberpunk. He just wanted to kind of bring it out, but they shut him down and made him not say anything until just now. So, with all this extra noise that's coming out about this now, what do you think about this, Minchie? You on mute? You there? Uh-oh. Did she go? Did she go to the land of the lost? All right. Well, I don't know. I don't hear her, and I don't see her mic moving. Yeah, I can't hear you. Can you? I don't hear anything.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right.
Issue. Well, okay, the workplace thing, that is just standard operating procedure. I mean, I don't know. Anybody who's worked anywhere knows that people talk trash about everybody else, and that's just a standard thing to do, whether it's in English or not in English. And then, yes, they're going to try to cover it up because, you know, they don't want that all out there. They don't want their business out there. And I think they've just been really damaged by this. I don't know, even if they come out with the updates, if they can recover their reputation. And they're a publicly traded company, so, you know, that's something else, you know. I don't really know much about that. But I think they're just really damaged now by Cyberpunk.
Do you think you think somebody might try to acquire them?
I don't know if they'd want that. You know, maybe if their stocks go lower, maybe. You know, but not right. I don't think right now. I think that'd be too much to try to take on and try to repair.
I don't know. They're pretty talented, though. I mean, they are pretty talented. But I mean,
they are. But like The Witcher 3, that wasn't any good till like a year later. Am I correct? Yes.
Well, yeah. No, it was buggy too. That was the thing that had me tripping out about the whole situation is because The Witcher 3, I had to stop playing it because it was a buggy mess. And then I didn't come back to it until about a year and a half later, and then I finished it. But it was more the thing for me. It was that the same thing is pretty much going on with Cyberpunk, except for the fact that obviously I played it on the Series X, haven't had all those problems that people were saying that they were having. Now it did have its share of bugs, but you know that's just normal for any type of game. But no, you know I've heard that it wasn't playing on the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4 properly. So Witcher 3 played on the consoles fine, but I don't know. It just seemed to me when it comes to the bug issue. We've seen this with plenty other games. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. Like The Witcher 3 had the same problem, so I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what they're gonna do with. I don't know what, you know, whether their board decides what to do, you know, and their board kind of pushed them into this, so I don't know what their recovery is.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. I definitely totally agree with that. Let me go back to Super Chat. Thank you, Manuel. He says, missed last night with Dirt. Good to see you double back. No doubt, man. Really appreciate it, man. Go back and, go check out that episode. I had to delete some stuff, some extracurricular activities in there. But but other than that, yeah, it's good to go, man. So, yeah, it was a really good show, man. It was fun. But I don't know. What about you, Sir X, man? What is your thoughts about this, man? Do you think CD Projekt Red is in trouble, and do you think somebody could go ahead and pick them up? And who would that be, if you think that there would be a buyer?
I don't think there'll be a buyer right now because remember, a lot of times CD Projekt Red, if I remember, they're in the UK, correct?
They're
Poland.
in Sweden.
Poland.
Poland. That's right. Poland.
They're in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
And if I heard a few years back, not too sure, but from what I heard, that's one of the few developers that actually gets like government government help, to keep them in business and stuff like that. So I'm not sure that anybody would buy them or take them over. As far as their stocks for the game, all I can say is, I know it worked good for you, KMEGA. You didn't have too many problems, but make your game work better. That's all I can say. Yeah, this is a lesson learned. So when you make your next project, not to make all those mistakes and make sure it's right. If you have to delay it, delay it. If you're gonna make another one, don't put a time on it. Just 6 months. You got it. Then give a 6-month announcement and bring it out. But all I can say on CD Projekt Red, dude.
Yeah, okay. So, but see, this is the one thing too with that's the situation with developers. It's not so much about that they want to put out a date. It's the publishers that force them out to do that makes them put out a date. That's why they come out with these deadlines and things like that. And so, they gave what, I don't know, like what's 3 or 4 dates before they actually
Yeah,
the game actually came out. The game was supposed
it's
to
like
come out on
5 years in development, right?
right, yeah, well, I think longer than that, but the game was, I mean, because I think they showed like right after the first year when The Witcher 3 came out, they showed that picture of the girl with the claws standing out in the middle of the street or on her knees at the middle of the street. So they've been talking about this game for a minute. The problem of it is that publishers want, they invest a lot of money, and you're right, because there was an article that came up last week, I believe, that the government was going to look into CD Projekt Red because they did help with some of the funding, and they was thinking
Correct.
about punishing them about it, or maybe try to get their money back or something like that. But I kind of looked at that as like, look, that's
I could have sworn it was also something about that they have until the end of the year to make good on some of the claims that are
right. We
associated
talked
to
about
that.
that in the DMs. Yeah. We talked about that in the DMs, which I was saying, like, I think that's just kind of, um, just wordplay from the government because they know that they're not going to penalize because that they make a lot of money. They've made a lot of money for their government. So it's and I don't know. Quantum Dream had to go through the same thing too when they went through a lot of trouble. And I think they're a French company, I believe.
Okay, Mega, who's the
They got bank.
publisher for CD Projekt Red?
I'm trying to think. Was it 505 Games that published this game? I can't remember who was the publisher of it. But if anybody,
Oh, Cyberpunk?
yeah, I can't remember
Yeah.
who was the publisher of it. The publisher of it.
Warner
Because I
Brothers.
Warner was. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Warner Brothers,
It
yes.
was
Right,
Warner Brothers.
It was Warner Brothers. You're right. So
Ooh,
it was Warner Brothers, right? Because as much as I played that game, and
that's
I seen
too
right
big
there
a
at the beginning.
company not to be happy. Yeah. Oh
Right,
yeah.
right. But they pushed them. But of course, they put a lot of money behind it. And I don't know. Logan, have you played Cyberpunk yet?
I actually have not yet. I got my collector's edition in and everything, but I was waiting to play it on my Series X till the patch because I don't know. I mean, I've heard all the issues with it and everything, generally on the base Xbox One or even the One X
Mhm.
and the PS4, but so far it's been okay for most people I've heard on the Series X and PS5, but I wanted it at its peak and its best experience, so I was waiting until the enhancements came in.
Mhm.
But now it sounds like I'm going to wait almost a year to actually play it.
We'll be playing Halo by then.
I know, right? And see, that's why because I wasn't really having that many problems or issues with it. That's like I said, it was having normal bugs. And then the weird thing I did find out is that when you play it in performance mode, it looks a lot better than it does in quality mode. And so I
Whoa,
just
say that again?
okay, on performance mode, it looks better, looks a lot better than quality mode. I mean,
You
and
mean the motion or the details?
everything, detail, motion, everything, because the performance mode is going at 60 frames per second. So you know what I'm saying.
Right.
And on top of that, it visually it looked better. And because I put it in quality mode, and I'm like, this looks dry, this look washed out. Like I said, this must be one of them weird things that's going on with the game. I got it, but whatever. Performance mode it is. And when you've seen the like last night I was showing you gameplay from from
I saw it
Cyberpunk.
when
Yeah,
I was at work. I
yeah,
saw it when I was at
yeah,
work.
and you saw how good that looked. That was all
Yeah.
performance mode. So
Well,
it was
that's the funny thing
weird.
about it.
Yeah.
Depending on the patch or version you have, like when I first got the game, you know, I I wanted to see if I wanted to do performance mode, and I saw the graphical difference, and quality wise, I saw the performance wise was lesser, but it wasn't so much lesser that it wasn't worth it, and it definitely was because of the 60 frames. It was smooth and everything else, and so in my opinion, that loss of quality to get that massive increase in performance was the trade to go for it. And I could have sworn most people chose that, but not everybody, But this morning I compared it again, and the quality is closer, but of course the motion isn't. But I think there's been some kind of change. And the one thing I just realized now, I did turn off the motion blur and that chromatic aberration since I first played it. I did that like maybe a month ago.
Always turn that off.
Right, but I don't
Any game.
myself until I heard like a week or two after the game was out that there was a marked difference, and there was. So maybe that affected the results I had today. But when it launched, there was a bigger difference than there seems to be now.
Here's something nobody talks about that game. They really didn't have any problems on the PC version of the game. It was the console versions that had the problem.
I think that I've seen that there was a podcast
comparatively anyway.
Well, there was comparatively, but there was a podcast, and there was a guy named Slow Mo. I don't know if you guys follow him.
Slow Mo Backslap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. He was showing he was showing the stats. And he was talking about that there's issues on PC as well. And so I have no idea. Like I don't, I wanted that experience to play on the Series X. I got it, you know what I'm saying? And I've thoroughly enjoyed the game. You know how much I love it. I think the game it's my 2020 game of the year.
I know KMEGA, he gonna go back and get every little dime of the achievements he can sometime.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done with everything in the game. Only thing I got is just the little cop things to do. All side quests is done. The main story is done. I've already done 2 of I've seen 2. I know there's 7 different endings, but I've done 2, and I'm kind of like, I don't even know if I want to see the rest of the other ones because I've got 2 good ones. I don't want to see the real bad ones, but only thing I got left is that to get it. Yeah, so
I got something on your topic of completion. So this game has been in development for, what'd you say, estimated 5 to 10 years. 5 to 6 years, right?
Well, they were saying more 8, I've heard, but the actual development was like 4 years in, and sometime in between then, like they restarted.
Even. Okay, so you would think KMEGA beat this game quicker than any long game I've seen him play like this. And you would think with something that is this big that the story would have been so much longer for the anticipation time that you've waited for this game. You would think that there would be way more gameplay.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. Now, I put in 175 hours.
Yeah, no, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
But he's talking
many
about
hours
the main quest,
put in
right?
on Odyssey, man. It was unreal.
Oh yeah. Odyssey, I put
you know what I'm saying? Now you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing of it and what CD Projekt Red does really well is that they give you the game itself. Now, Witcher was just too big. Witcher was huge.
Witcher was
because I don't know. Logan,
I had to put it down.
Logan, did you beat Witcher?
Yeah, I beat the whole main campaign and most of the factions. I haven't gone around and done the expansions.
Yeah.
As I know they're quite substantial.
Yeah.
So I was planning on doing those through a New Game Plus, but man, my backlog has just been growing and growing and growing. No. So I don't know.
That's every gamer's story.
I put that in Odyssey. I put the most hours in. I think. Well, other than me playing like sports games or fighters or something like that, but just if a single player game, I put most of my hours into The Witcher 3, and I still haven't got everything done in Witcher 3.
You were hooked. It kept sucking you in. It kept sucking you in.
And I'm like, I got so many hundreds upon hundreds of hours into Witcher 3. And then I'm like, I don't want any game to be as big as The Witcher 3 or as big as Odyssey or Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's just too big. I love to get my money's worth, but that is just too
Too
big.
much money.
So yeah, if you can give me for a
Some
single
first world
first
problems, huh?
world problem. I don't
Get too
want
much of your money worth.
it's
Wow.
I'm trying to get KMEGA to play another game
Yeah,
when
right,
he's in
right,
Odyssey,
right.
and he's like, man, I gotta beat this boss, man. I gotta go get this other stuff to make this boss easier. I'm like, dang, K, there's more games, bro.
Bro, it's crazy.
But Sir X, man, here's a question I got for you real quick.
Hold on. I gotta ask you too, though, Slayer. But let me hit up Henosis. He says, "Great work. Happy to be a part of the chat, man. Thank you, Henosis, man. Thank you guys
Always,
so much
man.
for coming, man. I really do appreciate it."
One of the most loyal homies is always there.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Okay, so Slayer, before you ask that question, I wanted to get your point of view on this as well. I mean, do you think that the CD Projekt Red is in trouble, and are they vulnerable enough right now for them to be acquired by somebody?
Okay, well, let me just ask the question to Sir X-Man because
Okay.
real quick, and then I'm gonna jump right into that. Okay, so Sir X-Man, did you mean like the main quest or just overall? Because there's been a lot of talk about the main quest not being so long and some, depending on their beef with the game, because some people have a beef with the whole bug situation, and so
I'm talking about the way like they would do, like they did Witcher or Oblivion. Okay, side quests are only as an option from where I was growing up playing games, whereas you need to build your character up to beat this boss, like he was doing in that Assassin's Creed. That's really the only thing that I see. And the game is so short. If you go straight through, that
if
there's
you
like
run through,
no challenge from what I hear, just to go right through it.
Well, here's the thing.
If you go right through it, it's still 40, 50 hours. I mean, that's
the thing, right?
Yeah,
but there's no harder boss where you have to go back and get.
Well, you can increase the difficulty, and it really does change up the game to such a point where if you play it one type of way, like you're gonna have to play a completely different type of way because the difficulty will force that upon you.
Right.
Like
you're gonna have to go back. You're gonna have to go back. And come back.
So the reason I brought that up was because I remember in the 16-bit era, it was a constant debate with RPGs where you had the main quest part, right? Like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy, Tales of Fantasia, countless games that I can mention from that era, or Secret of Mana or whatever. So, you had, of course, the main quest, and there would come a point at the end of the game where basically the game would outright tell you sometimes that, this is the doorway to the last boss.
Yep.
You can go there now. There's all this other stuff you could do instead.
And this is the last boss. And if you don't think you're ready to go in, you need to go back around, look for other stuff so you can build yourself up. They would let you know.
Right, but Cyberpunk, now Cyberpunk is a more modern game. So what they do is you have the whole quest log thing. Because remember, in the 16-bit era, we didn't have any of that. You had to keep track of your quests and stuff yourself. You might have a list like Chrono Trigger, but that was the end of the generation where they had a list of the things.
So you were like me. You had friends that had little notepads to jot down certain things so they didn't forget.
Right, you had to, because otherwise you couldn't remember. But in Cyberpunk, for example, and The Witcher was that way as well. As they're tracking everything for you, and they're giving you details, notes about this is what's going on in this quest, in case you forget or whatever. So if you watch the main quest, it's depending on your point of view, you might say it's long, you might say it's short. I would say at very least, it's sufficient, right? To just avoid the argument in that aspect, it's sufficient. But side quests and stuff, there are plenty. And in fact, like the game keeps telling you, oh, you need to hurry up and do the main quest. It's important because time is of the essence. It's really not. It's really, really, really not. You can sit there and do side quests all day long and not concerned about it. And that's what I'm doing. This is what I've done all day. Nothing but side quests. I did a couple of main quests, but mainly side quests. And I could tell you, I've played maybe 40, 50 hours and saving saves at important choice points so I can go back, play it a different way and stuff. I can see I'll have a lot of time left in this game, probably until Halo comes out. And at that point, the new patch will be out, and maybe I'll play it around a little bit to see how good it looks, and then move on. That's
harder level when they add the patches.
Right. So as someone who's been playing the game, it's very long. Anybody who's saying it's short is just rushing through the main quest to say it's short. It's not a short game at all. At
Okay.
all.
All
But
right.
anyways,
Yeah.
but to your
point.
question,
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the question.
That's cool.
so Cyberpunk, okay, with the whole thing with CD Projekt Red, once again, there's a lot of hype for and against what's going on, right? So, depending on your point of view of the subject as a whole, it's going to affect what you think with these reports, right? But do I really think that CD Projekt Red is going to be bought by anybody? No, but just like Michi was saying earlier, would they want to be? I also think the answer is no. They don't want to be bought, and who would dare buy them now?
Oh, I think a lot of people would get them. I think a lot of people get them. I mean, the Witcher series is their legacy. I mean, yeah. CD Projekt. Look, every studio. I don't think there's one studio that just come out and it's just absolutely been perfect. They've all had now, not this level of controversy. No.
Right.
But
Right.
I mean, you look at the people who make well, I shouldn't say people, but they are people, but the devs who make the Metroid games, they've gone to different developers to try to find the perfect type of remedy for Metroid to try to capture that same nostalgia from
Feeling, right.
yeah, from what made Metroid great. They still haven't found that yet, and that's why they're in pretty much the situation where they're in. And then there's people that's kind of leery because they don't know if they be able to match what people felt when they played Metroid back then. I mean, and it goes there's some people's Mario's that's great. Like Mario Odyssey was great, but there wasn't at the beginning when Mario Sunshine came out. There was a lot of people that didn't like Mario Sunshine when it came out. They didn't. They like
Even
it
in
now.
hindsight, it's
Yeah,
not liked
yeah.
as much, but it's not known as a bad game
Right, and it's
at the time, which
and
it was.
and nothing is really comparable to like the first Mario, Mario 3, and then Mario 64. Like those are the you know when I guess you would put in like Mario Odyssey because it kind of brought you back to the way Mario and Paper Mario, but that's a different type of Mario. But again, it's like every dev, you go and look at what happens with Rare and what they went through and just everything else. So I, they're allowed to have a bad game. They're allowed to have I wouldn't say a bad game because the game is not bad at all. But I think the lies is what's caught them into a bad situation and them trying to because there's a lot of money that they received for that game, man. So I mean like there's people that's well off because of it. So it's a dirty thing, but I think there will be a lot of people who want to get that studio, no doubt in my
I
mind.
think if I could name a couple that might be good, Microsoft, but not Sony. Not so much because Sony can or can't or whatever, but because their fan base wouldn't like the sound of that at all, and they would really take that pretty poorly. Who else? EA or Ubisoft maybe, but I would say Take-Two would be a bad fit just because Take-Two is Take-Two, right? But in terms of like being able to fund them and push them in a certain direction, I think Take-Two would actually be good, but they would do some suspect things with monetization and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's not too many I can name.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of look at it. They do look like they're in a votable spot right now, but I just don't know. I think personally that yeah, if the right company came along, but it's just kind of like what Sir X-Man said. The government is behind them, and
Mhm.
and then on top of that, I mean, this is just their first big issue that they've had. So I think that they'll still be afloat and all of that. I think that they come in there now. Only thing they really pretty much have no choice instead of working on a new IP is fixing the situation with Cyberpunk and then going back to The Witcher. That'll end all the discussion right there. They go back to The Witcher, they'll be fine. So I don't know, but all right, let me go ahead and get to the next topic. Okay, so we talked about this. We talked about this last night. But of course, there's people on the panel that hasn't. So, I want to go ahead and I'm going to start with you on this with Sir X Man. Massive studios get Star Wars, right? Okay, so what kind of game do you think they will be working on? I mean, because that was one of the discussions that we were talking about last night is, we already know that Ubisoft has got, it's got this, and Star Wars is going, Star Wars is kind of going all over the place now. After the contract is going to be up for with EA and Disney in 2023. What game though that Massive can make that you would be interested in, because what they do, they make the Division.
Oh
So
yeah,
what
you know
kind of
me and
yeah,
you
yeah,
on the same page
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. So what game do you, what Star Wars what type of Star Wars genre would they use? Like what kind of
Knights
game?
of the Old Republic, baby.
Do you think that they'll do Knights of the Old Republic? Come on, man.
Man, they've
Come
been
That's
on.
Obsidian's
the
game.
rumors. The rumor mill has been talking about a bring back or a new version of Knights of the Old Republic for what, 8 years?
Mhm.
It's possible. They
An
just
open
needed
world
somebody
RPG
to do
style,
it.
you mean?
But with Massive, and that would be crazy. That, yeah, open world, because they make open world like shooters.
Um, New engine, new gameplay style, still keeping the RPG level, RPG elements up in the game. It'd be large, dude. Look at what Playground Games is doing. They're known for racing games with that, but look, they're making Fable. Anything's possible, dude.
No, anything's possible. No, you're right. I mean, it's your opinion. I'm not saying that. I'm just that just kind of threw me off, because that's the least thing that I was thinking about. But I mean, look, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I mean, and you could be right.
You would buy it day one if it came out.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to buy it day one anyway, because I like Massive Games. So I like what they do.
Oh yeah, but I
Okay.
can see them doing that, and and it could be weird, but they do co-op games too. So if they made a different Knights of the Old Republic, not one or two,
Mhm.
but call it Knights of the Old Republic, and you got a squad that you go in, a Jedi's, or if you want to do a squad of Sith or something like that, you go in, do that, have a little space battle up in there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go out in a squadron in the universe. Anything's possible, dude.
No,
That would be sick.
it would be sick. It would be really sick, and it would throw everybody off just having
I
that
like what he's
name.
saying too. I
Yeah,
like what he's saying.
yeah,
I'd play a
I
game
dig it.
like that,
Oh yeah, no doubt.
and I'm
Uh,
not too big into Star Wars either.
Emmanuel A1, thank you again for the support. He says Obsidian would make better games with CD Projekt Red's licenses. I can't do that. I can't give you that. I
Nah,
can't give you that, bro. I can't.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about it. Honestly, he's been hot about this whole situation with Cyberpunk for a while, right? And but it did give me a moment to pause, when I read that Obsidian could Obsidian make a great game in the Cyberpunk universe. Hell yes, they could.
Oh yeah, they could.
Could it
Yeah.
be better? Potentially. They have the ability to make a game that's even better, but
Let's
why
see.
say that now?
Let's see Avowed first before we start proclaiming that Obsidian would make a better game than what
I like
CD Projekt Red
Obsidian, but
would.
they need a better engine.
Yeah.
They need a better game engine.
Obsidian made their bones long ago, before engines were even.
Well, we haven't seen
half-assed.
really anything from them in a major triple A with a major triple A game in a long time. Because I mean, what's call it wasn't a triple A game, but that was really good. But it wasn't a triple A game. Outer Worlds.
No,
So um,
it was definitely a big, awesome title though.
it was an awesome title. But yeah, no, I don't think we have seen. I think what would it be? Las Vegas? I mean, I don't know. What's the last big triple A game from Obsidian that we played? Do you know?
Fallout 4. No,
That would be
Fallout 3.
Fallout 4.
Fallout 3.
Three,
Fallout,
yeah, because they didn't do
Fallout
4.
3. Okay, Fallout 3. Okay, so yeah, because Bethesda did Fallout 4. So
Right.
I don't, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, so let's see Avowed first, see what they do with that before we start claiming that.
True.
I don't know.
True.
But I just I don't agree with that. But okay, all right. So Sir X-Men, that's cool. All right. So Mitchie, what do you think? Because I mean, we didn't. I heard a little bit from you of what you thought, but what kind of game do you think that they're gonna make? And Uh, and what kind of game would you like to see them make? That's something that I didn't ask you last night.
Hold it.
You got it?
Obsidian did New Vegas, by the way. We got it backwards.
No, I
Who
said
did New Vegas?
I said New Vegas. I said New Vegas.
Who did Knights of the Old Republic back in the day? Is that Obsidian?
No, that was BioWare.
That's BioWare?
Yeah.
Yeah, but who did the
Oh,
sequel? 'Cause
BioWare.
the sequel was by a different developer.
BioWare did Knights of the Old Republic, and Obsidian did the Sith Lords, which was the
The
sequel.
second
The
one,
sequel,
yeah.
right? That's
the
what they did.
sequel, yeah.
Okay. I'm this is a bad subject. I'm just not a Star Wars person. I know. What a sin. I guess what they were talking about last night is that they would do like the whole Boba Fett type thing. That would be cool because you still have kind of a shooter type thing.
Mhm.
I think that would be definitely cool. Yeah. As long as no lightsabers.
I know you was adamant that you didn't want to see them do an open world game with lightsabers. I think
No
that would be
lightsabers.
I
What?
would be the greatest thing ever. But I no, but she I think what she want is something like if it's going to be lightsabers, it would be kind of like the Fallen Order, like a single player experience some type. But that's not Massive. We know that Massive is completely open world, shooter game. That's why, I'm going to wait and see if anybody else said it because we said one of the games last night. But okay, so all right, so I guess you're done on that. You just kind of like you don't want no sabers, you just want something, all
No,
right.
she could make a
I like
Mandalorian game.
I like shooting stuff. I like shooting stuff.
Yeah, Star Wars
Right.
is a huge universe. It could be a lot of
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
So okay,
It
so
could be.
what character? Okay, so what character? Your favorite character in Star Wars?
Jeez. See, after the okay.
Maybe.
I'm old. I'm kind of like Sir X Man. I'm kind of old. So
No, I'm older.
probably. but those first three movies that I saw back in the 70s and the 80s, those are what I liked. The newer ones I don't like.
Okay, so you don't like the new stuff, but you like the old stuff.
No, I like the old stuff.
Okay, but what's called it? I think everybody. I have not heard anybody say anything bad about the Mandalorian. I've watched the very.
I do not own Disney Plus. I do not have Disney Plus.
Okay.
I have not seen it.
But it's very reminiscent of the older stuff because they use old school puppets and stuff. So it's kind of like that. Of course, they use special effects, but they blend it together. It looks really good. So I do like what they do with the Mandalorian.
And they are based after the destruction of the second Death Star.
Right.
So that's their universe, yes.
Yeah. So okay. So all right. So okay. So let me go
Maybe
ahead.
if they had something like where you in the first Star Wars where you have the cantina with all the bounty hunters.
It's
Maybe
in there.
Something like that. That'd be
They
kind of
go
cool.
to that cantina in Mandalorian. It's in there.
But she ain't seen Mandalorian.
I know, but I'm just letting her know that the cantina is there. If she wanted to nostalgia on you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of.
But you
nostalgia.
need to see Rogue One. Rogue One is actually the true. I'm done after this. Is the true sequel to? I mean, the prequel to Star Wars. Rogue One.
Okay.
New Hope.
Are you done
All right.
doing the Star Wars education
Yes, sir.
tutorial? Okay, thank you. All right. Anyway, so let me go.
I'm a Trekkie too. Remember that.
Well, yeah, I'm a Trekkie too.
You
That's
know
what,
I'm a
that's
Trekkie
what I
too.
want. I want some Star
That
Trek.
Trek is much better.
Okay, so you're a Trekkie too. I'm more of a
Yeah.
of a Star
have-
Trek guy.
Yeah, I have
I
all
love,
the
I love
movies.
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Okay. I'm in
Yeah.
good. I'm in good company then. All right.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You
Okay, so
Trekkie
Nothing
too?
against Star Wars. I'm just not crazy for Star Wars like that.
I know the lore, but Star Wars and all about it because I couldn't help it because I'm a sci-fi guy. But Trekkie all day long.
Okay. All right. So, what about you, Logan? What do you think about the whole massive gaming thing? Because I've heard, except for Sir X-Man, I haven't heard his take on it, but I haven't heard your full take about the acquirement for one of them not the acquirement, but for Star Wars getting to work on any Star Wars game, and what Star Wars game would you like to see Massive work on?
Well, first off, I think it's a godsend that EA doesn't have the exclusive on Star Wars anymore. I think
God,
that's the
you're a
best
EA
thing for
hater too.
sure.
He finally said it. Yep.
Oh my
But
gosh.
um, so I think that's amazing for one. They've done awesome with Fallen Order. It's one of my favorite games of the generation and one of the best Star Wars games ever made. And then Squadrons has been a lot of fun. And once they got their act together, Battlefront 2 was pretty good. But they made 3 good games in like whole span of this deal so far. And I'm glad that other studios are going to have a chance because, like, back in the glory days of Star Wars gaming, Knights of the Republic was BioWare, Knights of the Republic 2 was Obsidian, and then, Shadows of the Empire was a different studio, and Pandemic did the Battlefront 1 and 2, and just I like that it allows different teams and diversity to where they can focus on their strengths instead of pigeonholing it. And as for Massive, I kind of feel like they'll do a open world, kind of like Mandalorian. That's my hunch, something like that, where there's factions and quests and just go to different planets and just that to me feels like what their wheelhouse is. As for Knights of the Old Republic, I do feel that there is pretty credible stuff that we will see a Knights of the Old Republic 1 or 2 resurrection of some sort in the not so distant future. And that's what I'll say about that. But I'm really excited for the future of Star Wars gaming, and I can't wait for the next games to be announced.
Nice. Okay. I kind of agree with that. I just don't think that they'll have that title. I think what Sir X-Man is saying makes sense. It sounds like a really dope game. I just don't think that they'll have that title of, because that is its own game. When people think of KOTOR, that's it. That's, and you would think that there would be. So I still think that EA could do that. I said that last night. I said I think EA would have, because there's still plenty of staff from BioWare that's around. Even though there was the two or three of the heads that left, I still think that the EA could still do Knights of the Old Republic, and I wouldn't
Hey,
be mad about that at all.
hey,
Go ahead. What's up?
he gave me an idea. Okay, you got DC Universe. You got Star Trek Online, which I love. You could do a Star Trek Online. I mean, a Star Wars Online in the universe.
They have that on
That
PC already.
there's a Star Wars. Oh yeah, Core plays that. That's
Yeah,
right.
and that's called the Knights of the Old Republic. So yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Get your
Yeah, that
PC
would be
fix, brother.
cool.
Get your PC fix.
I'm talking. I'm working. I'm talking on you right now. That's how I'm winning the show with you.
Gee whiz. Anyway, but yeah, no, they already have that. It's just, I would, I just briefly about the Star Trek thing. We have like those type of online mobile phone type of games for Star Trek, but we haven't got a true serious Star Trek game in ages. I know that there's been one that came out not too long ago, and I know there was a
I
VR
have it.
Star Trek, but no, I mean I don't know why Star Trek doesn't get the love like it should, but I mean Star Wars is
Star
definitely
Trek.
a bigger
Star
property.
Trek
They
Online
need to
is
make a
huge,
discovery
bro.
game.
It's huge, bro. I mean, I go on online. I got my ship. I can land on planets, do missions and everything. Get in the space skirmishes, battle with other people. You can squad up with other starships and stuff. I mean, it's amazing. Just haven't had time to play it like I used to. But you should check it out, bro.
Not
Okay,
interested.
I'm done.
I want a bigger game.
Oh
I want
Lord,
a
have
bigger
mercy.
Star Trek game. All right, so okay. What about you, Sir X Man? Since you want to talk about this, no, I already asked you about it. I'm sorry. I mean Slayer. My bad. What about you, man? What do you think? I know that you said what you said last night, but what is the ideal game that you think Massive should make for a Star Wars game? Just people just hitting their mute button. Just
Yeah, it was the mute button. I thought I pressed it in anyway. So thanks for that. What Sir X-Men said about the open world game, and because the rumor is that this is an open world game, so a lot of people are hoping don't make it be first person. All of a sudden, this talk came up, and they also said that about Indiana Jones, by the way, which I don't know. So what he said sounds good to me, but let's harken back and think about, because there's a big misnomer, and even the panel has done this. You did this mistake a little bit, KMEGA. Like, Massive Entertainment, just look on Wikipedia, and I alluded to some of this last night. Like, they're not a shooter developer like we think we know them to be. If you look at their past games before, what do you call Division, they did three games in the ground control and 2 games in the World and Conflict series, and those games are like RTS PC games, and they helped in an Assassin's Creed and a Far Cry, and I think a Just Dance game, I think it was, right? So everything that people know about them, what most people know about them is just Division. But this is an RTS company. That's what's in their DNA. Now, are they going to make an RTS game? I don't think so. But an open world game being the rumor, and these RTS games are usually very in-depth in the gameplay, the world, and this is a Star Wars game, so that world is already there, and they don't have to put that effort into it. It's there, but they have to put effort into leveraging what's already in that universe and, fiction and everything. So definitely, I'm gonna have to double down with what Sir X-Man said. I think that's more in line with the DNA of the developer themselves, what the rumor said, and what you get when you put those two elements together. Open world game and Star Wars. So I think a whole action RPG, yeah, and that starts to make you think of Cyberpunk or The Witcher maybe. But then, elements of KOTOR. So it won't be just action oriented. It'll be maybe more menu based, but it's an open world game, and it's like a whole RPG in a whole world or worlds. I could see that definitely. So I think Sir X-Men had the right idea.
okay, all right. I mean, like I said to Sir X-Man, he has his opinion, just like you have your opinion. I'm telling you guys, this is what this game is going to be. Listen, what's going to sell isn't an RTS, even
Right.
though it's a Star Wars game. It's not. That's not. And especially when Disney expect. As I said this last night, Disney is going to expect the best developers to work on the game that they've been famous for. So for instance, Massive it's got their popularity is from what you've seen from Division and from Far Cry 3. So they're not going to stray away from that, even though that they may have skills in doing an RTS. What they're going to do is kind of like a commando game. What is it? Why I want to say Bionic Commando. It's not Bionic Commando.
Republic Commandos, I think it
Republic
was.
Commando. That's what it was. Republic Commando. That's in their wheelhouse. You can have now what Sir X-Man was saying about them having lightsabers, and you have an open world game, and you can have different factions and stuff like that. That would be fire. I think that definitely could work. That's why like when Minchie says I don't want to see lightsabers, I'm just like, what? That would be so crunk. But I think overall what they would be is kind of like you would have a Division-esque or a Ghost Recon-esque Star Wars game with the Republic Commandos. That's what I'm saying, or maybe with with the bounty hunters. I think
I could see that. I could see that. What's
you know what I'm saying? 4-player co-op. You're going and doing
Your own
certain
bounty
things.
hunter?
That's a bounty hunter. Yeah, you can have a bounty hunter.
Make
Yeah.
your own bounty hunter?
Yeah, you can make your own bounty hunter.
Yes.
That would be
That would
dope.
be cool.
You like, see, okay, so now you are, what I'm saying? So at Ubisoft, if you need somebody, I got you. I'm right here. But yeah, no, I think that would be perfect. That's in their wheelhouse. I just think that's where Massive is made their, get their toast buttered is off of those type of games. Why not do it that way? And I guarantee you all the DLC that they would have, and then like from my understanding, it's like now since Disney has Star Wars, like the canon, the old canon is kind of null and void. The new canon is whatever that you want it to be that fits into the universe that we've seen from the new stuff. So from Disney, yeah. So
Define old, define new.
okay, so from when Disney um purchased what's called. So I think when you start from like Rogue One and on forth, you know what I'm saying, going forward, like I think
That's
the whole
new.
Anakin stuff that we seen with that was Lucas Arts. That stuff is not canon anymore. That stuff is gone. So anything that you've seen from when Disney took over from on to what
So
they've
Jar
done to
Jar is not canon.
yeah. So well, like for instance, what's called is canon now because Fallen Order is canon now because that's what they say. So the stuff that we're going to be seeing, what we're seeing from the Mandalorian is canon. So it is what it is. So I don't know, but they could do a whole bunch of things with that, and so I'm definitely excited about it. But anybody else have any ideas that they want to give out about this or any thoughts before we move on? Okay, all right, cool. And if y'all's on your mute button, so what? We're moving on. Anyway, all right. So number 3, the Indiana Jones. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well Indiana Jones is going to be a AAA game made by MachineGames, maker of Wolfenstein. And I see somebody in the chat say something about like I didn't like Wolfenstein or Doom. I don't know why they came up and said some crazy stuff like that. Um, because I own those games. I bought them. I didn't Game Pass them. I own them. So that would be crazy. Why would I buy something I don't like? But anyway, so let me go to you on this one, Sir X Man. Well, no, let me go to Slayer with this one. Um, do you have faith in the studio to make a different genre type game? Because when you think of the Indiana Jones game, you don't think of it being like Wolfenstein or first person. You would think of like an adventure Tomb Raider esque or Uncharted esque type of
Right.
adventure game. I mean, could they pull it off? I mean, anything is possible. I mean, like I said that last night about like Cyberpunk. I was kind of skeptical about the whole first person play thing, but it works perfectly in Cyberpunk. But what do you think that? Do you have faith in MachineGames making this game
The Indiana
overall?
Jones game.
Yeah, the Indiana Jones game. I mean,
Uh,
are you a little skeptical?
I'm not skeptical because when I think about it, you've got this id Tech engine, which a lot of people aren't talking about that. Now Microsoft owns that now too. Okay. And we see what they're doing with that in Doom. So John Carmack, who's also expressed interest in coming back, by the way. So, if that happens, that engine will get some even more TLC, even though it's definitely been getting that in recent time. When you also look at the money Microsoft is,
Oh yeah. Microsoft gonna give them that
the
bag.
whole kit and
Yeah,
caboodle. So
yeah,
they got
yeah,
the money situation is on deck.
yeah.
They got engines. They got talented, smart people. Okay, a lot of the people who were responsible for the original Crisis, uh, that's where they're at now. This is why Doom, the past 2 Doom games have been so amazing. Why the id Tech engine, which had had issues, with rage and all of that, and now you see the engine is more up to par nowadays. It's because of people like that. So I think, but it depends on what type of game it is. I could see it being first person because they've made those Wolfenstein games, and it kind of fits. It's their wheelhouse. But Indiana Jones isn't just about shooting Nazis. There's action adventure. Those movies are a callback to the black and white film serials like Flash Gordon and stuff. I mean the old style. That's what Indiana Jones is about. That's why I always had those transitions. I mean, you also saw it in Star Wars, but that was the same director. He's a big fan of that. So I feel like, what if they did? Nah, because I was thinking, what if they did a third-person game where you could switch into first person? And games have experimented with that, and there's always this effort to downplay that and not do that in more games. So I think whatever they're gonna do, I'm gonna say out there. I'm gonna put it out there. I think it's gonna be first person. A lot of people are not gonna like that, and for Indiana Jones title to pigeonhole it into first person when when the other two titles who basically took on its mantle when it didn't have it, Uncharted and the Lara Croft games, those games were always third person. So if they were to go first person, that'd have to be a brave thing to do and stick with that, because they're gonna get a lot of flack for going there. Not that they can't make a great game with that. So that's my only concern. If it's first person or third person, because every other aspect in terms of the money, the talent of the developer, all of that is already there. That's the only thing I really have concern for.
Okay.
And it'll be a while before we know.
All right, cool. All right. So what about you, Mitchie? Are you skeptical of MachineGames? Because I mean, for what they're known for, to try to do an action adventure game, to do it in maybe even first person, or even them stepping out of their realm. I mean, because developers are talented; they could do anything they possibly want to if they got the budget to do it. But do you think this could be a first person game? Could you think this be a third person, or do you have faith in them? Otherwise,
Who
that's what I'm
says
trying
this
to
is
ask.
out of their realm, though? It's still Nazi killing.
I know you said that last night. That was great. It is Nazi killing. They're gonna.
It is
They're,
Nazi killing. It's
you're
not
gonna.
out
You're
of their
gonna tear.
realm.
You're gonna beat a lot of Nazi ass in there. There's no doubt about
Apparently,
that.
because that's what Indiana Jones did too.
Yep.
He
I
did.
mean,
Really did. Not
because
the only
of
thing,
rats
but
and the
that's
snakes,
definitely
and
key.
Yeah. So.
but first person with the whip, I don't know. That once you want to see that from third, though,
Yeah. See, that's the thing about
because
it.
you're not going to want to see that from first, because you won't have the same view.
Right, it's a tough choice to go first person with that.
But
even though that's usually their
play
wheelhouse.
Doom Eternal, you got that whip thing that they use, and then it works fine. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I know it sounds weird because we're just used and accustomed to way an adventure game's supposed to be, but I don't have a problem with it. Like I said, I had that same thought about the thought process about the Cyberpunk, but it works perfectly. So I don't know. I don't know. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think I'd much rather have it in third, even though then it would get comparisons from Tomb Raider and Uncharted. But I mean, big deal. Who cares? Indiana Jones is a whole separate thing. He's the one that made them, not the other way around.
Facts.
And so I think I just want to see Indy as Indy. I don't want to see Indy's hands. I want to see Indy. I want the hat and I want the whole thing, and I want to jump into caves and stuff and not just see my hands.
No, I mean, you make perfect sense. I'm not. I feel you on that. Like, I mean, you're giving this perspective of kind of like, I mean, you're saying what I feel. I just didn't equate it like you did, but you did a perfect job of doing it, because if you think about it, just the nostalgia of anybody who's watched those Indiana Jones movies, I think you would want to see Indiana Jones from the outside instead of from just seeing his hands and then whatever else. That's a great point. Really great point. Fascinating. Okay, so what about you, Logan? Where you stand on this?
It's an interesting debate idea. I personally think Machine will slay it. I'm confident, as others have mentioned. They've proven quite proficient at killing Nazis, and what does Indiana Jones like just as much as archaeology? Killing Nazis. So it's right in their wheelhouse. And in Wolfenstein, in particular, they took a franchise that was basically just a old school FPS, like not much story. All you did was shoot Nazis in a castle in Germany. That was it. And then they gave it a huge story arc and character development and all these choices and everything. So I feel like they're very well equipped to handle a narrative of adventure as well. And as for first or third person, I think they could do either one. Maybe even have it toggle, where you could toggle if you wanted to for different segments. And I feel that, as was mentioned earlier, that there's a reason it gets compared to Uncharted and Tomb Raider. It's a comparison for those. That's so like this is a whole different topic, but people talk about, like PlayStation has Uncharted, what does Xbox have? Well, if it is an exclusive, then Xbox would have their version of Uncharted, which would be the godfather of them all. Or if it's multi-plat, it's still just really cool to see indie again. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and that's I wanted to get your take on that because I know that you and Sir X-Man were the ones that haven't really talked about that, about if it's an exclusive or not. I was gonna, if you didn't mention it, I was gonna ask you that. Do you think that it's going to be exclusive?
It's a tough one because there are some things that transcend platform, in my opinion, like Star Wars and a few other things. Like they're just these huge pop culture icons. But then again, on the other side of the argument, Sony completely hijacked Spider-Man and made it exclusive to PlayStation and PlayStation alone. Of course, Sony does own the rights to Spider-Man after a deal with Marvel and all that, but it's just that. So, I mean, but
movies, not
Xbox,
games, so that didn't even really.
I guess that's true. It's interesting that I would make it exclusive if I could. If I was Xbox, I would negotiate that. But it depends on how far along was this in process before the acquisition goes through, and would there be a buyout to make that happen, or is that even feasible? But I don't know. If I were Phil, I would try my best to make it exclusive because that would be killer content only on your platform. But if I had to have a hunch, I'd say it's probably multi-plat.
Okay, all right. I understand exactly what you're saying on that, and I made a video talking about that, saying, look, if it's not an exclusive, there should be no reasons to get upset about it, because we don't know what Xbox and Disney talked about. Now, but what I prefer, yes, absolutely, make it exclusive. If this is something that where Xbox gave Disney the bag and say, look, we want the full rights to do Indiana Jones exclusively on Xbox and PC and XCloud. And if Disney doesn't have a problem with it, and then Xbox comes out and we find out later that Xbox wanted to make it multi-plat, then I would have a problem with Xbox because you can't tout and brag about. I mean, and say that you hear us, and then say, well, you know what? I mean, this is Indiana Jones. No. If Disney is the one that's kind of saying, well, we want to make it a multi-plat, and then Xbox is like, okay, well, we got the right studio to do it. We'll just, or if that's something that they already negotiated. I think that was something that Minty mentioned last night, which was a great point, was that um, they already would know what's going on beforehand because since Disney already would know about the purchase of between Microsoft and ZeniMax, while this game was already probably being talked about well beforehand. So I mean, this game could already be in development by now. We don't know. So
Ready?
yeah, so it is what it is. But I don't know. You got any last points you want to add, Logan, before I go to Sir X-Man?
No, that was pretty much it. That covers it.
Okay.
I think it would be interesting. Like, it wouldn't shock me if it was multi-plat because it is the pop culture phenomenon and it kind of transcends. But if Xbox had its way, I bet it would be exclusive.
Yeah.
And if they could, it just depends. Is it if it's Disney, say, my hunch would be it's multi-plat. If it's down to Xbox, I bet they make it exclusive.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think you're right. All right.
And you'd think they'd want Spider-Man to be multi-plat.
That's a great man. You're killing it. You're killing. You're making another great point. So I don't think Disney really cares as long as they get their money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said last night. Because you think about who's spoken about it. Nobody from Sony.
Nope.
Nobody from anything else.
Nope. I mean,
just then.
Well, and then, but what I also said last night was that Sony has leverage because Disney wants to use Spider-Man in their movies. I said so that's easy. There's no leverage here, but Microsoft has deep pockets and they could definitely afford the franchise to license the franchise to keep it exclusive on what's called it. So yeah, no. Yeah. So they could definitely do it. They could definitely do it. So, all right, man. So, sorry, X-Man, what do you think, man? What do you think about the whole
Here's
Indiana
my
Jones stuff?
point. Now, this is Bethesda, right? And Microsoft bought Bethesda. And you look in this guy's library when he's in the video and he's showing all this Raiders of the Lost Ark stuff, all this Indiana Jones stuff that he loves. And you got the backing of Microsoft now for this game, and Disney licensing, that can go any way, anyhow. We ain't gonna talk about that part. But with the backing of Microsoft now to make the game the guy has always probably wanted to make, that's more reason for it to be an exclusive to Microsoft, because now you've got the backing of them, and them. Take your time, get it right. That sets them up for an exclusive, dude. I mean, Microsoft gonna pour whatever that man needs, as far as financing, and all Microsoft gonna talk to them, talk to Disney, and say, look, we want to keep it on our own platform, even if it's just a year. We want to keep it on ours. And Bethesda will be like, we're gonna do whatever Microsoft say. They the boss, but it's up to them. Disney. I'm sure that ain't gonna be that big of an argument with them, dude. Disney be like, all right, you paying for it? All we got to do is license it, and we still gonna make money on it too. Okay, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, I agree with
I'm
that.
done.
I agree with that. No. I was letting you finish. But I was over here answering. Well, I could just answer it without even typing it in. I thought I was gonna have it finished typing. You know how I peck when I
So
type.
what
I
do you
don't
think
type
of
fast.
my opinion, bro?
No, I agree. I think personally, deep down, that it's going to be an exclusive. I do.
So do I.
I just don't want gamers to get upset if this particular game is a multiplat, because because we will definitely find out if the game, if Disney had something to do with it, then that's a different story. Then that's just part of the negotiation. But like somebody said in the chat, like, and I'm not going to be done with Xbox. I just could will be kind of confused unless there's something else down the line that they know that these studios are going to make, that's like Starfield, things like that, to where they're like, we'll keep some games on Xbox, and we'll let other games stay multiplat. Like they said, like Wolfenstein 3. If Wolfenstein 3 become multiplat, then I'm done with Xbox. Well, you don't know if, let's say that, Starfield, which by this point now, I don't think anybody has any doubt that Starfield's going to be exclusive. They've kind
Yeah,
of
it
touted
is.
that, and what you call it, um what's the big game from Bethesda everybody's been waiting for, the RPG. Why I can't think of the name. Elder Scrolls.
Elder
Elder
Scrolls.
Scrolls
Yes, yeah,
6.
Elder
Oh, I
Scrolls.
can't wait for that.
Right. Those games are going to be exclusive. There's no doubt about that. So if there's
You're gonna have to come
trade-offs,
to Xbox to get
yeah,
it. That's right.
those games are going to be exclusives. The trade-off, I think, that there'll be some of those games that will be multiplayer. Like I don't see Elder Scrolls Online being exclusive. I don't see it doesn't make financial sense. You know what I'm
Doom
saying?
either.
You want to make that game. You want to have as many people playing that game as possible. So that game should still allow it. So if Wolfenstein is one of those games that slips under the crack, and then they keep Doom as an exclusive, I'm not tripping. I'm cool with that. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Think it's cool. I mean, think about it. We got Game Pass. We ain't got to pay
That's
full price.
absolutely.
Anybody over there, they got that game from Obsidian. They paid for it over there because they wanted to play it because they heard it's good. We got it for free. So Microsoft's gonna make money either way it goes. But certain IPs, I think they're gonna keep to themselves.
No
Like
doubt
like
about it.
like the Indiana Jones. That they say you want to play Indiana Jones, and we give and it's getting a 9 everywhere. You got to come here to play it.
Yeah, no,
That's how I feel.
I feel the same way. Does anybody else want to say anything about that before we move on? Because I mean, I think the game is going to be exclusive. Well, I don't know about Indiana Jones, but all the other games from Bethesda pretty much will be. The majority of them is going to be exclusive. I feel.
Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be the hot one, dude. It's gonna be hotter than
Oh yeah, that game is
then
definitely
it's gonna be hotter.
It's definitely
Yeah,
exclusive.
there's gonna be some.
I heard
There's
they
gonna
haven't even
be some
started that yet.
crying on the other side. There's gonna be some
Oh
crying
yeah,
on the other side.
yeah. I'm sure that they haven't started because they're still. I mean, but ZeniMax is so big. Like, I mean, they got so many studios. They could be working on that, but I have no idea. I don't know. That's definitely years down the line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not looking at that game to come out anytime soon.
But when it comes,
But-
get ready for the hate, my brother KMEGA.
Oh,
Get
bro.
ready for the hate.
There's gonna be petitions. There's gonna be everything out there. Yeah, they're really gonna. Then when the game comes out, it's gonna be trash. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what they do.
You know what I'm gonna be? I ain't on no hater run. But like, y'all got Spider-Man, y'all got Uncharted. Be happy.
Oh man. All right. Let's
Messy.
move on. Just being messy. All right. So okay. So Sony was was doing they did a showing at the SEC 2021 and the PS5 CES. Why do I
You spelled it right though, and your thing though when you put down the list, you spelled it right.
I'm dyslexic, so you got to excuse me on that. But that's it.
SEC is
It
the
happens.
Security
Well,
Exchange Commission.
I'm dyslexic, so it
CES, bro.
yeah, these things trip me out. So it does. So I try. Excuse me.
Just think of GED and put a C where the G
I
is.
just need to
That's all.
I just need to say the full damn name of the company. But anyway, of the show.
Convention, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, but CES, sorry, 2021, PlayStation 5's segment was removed, and they removed all third-party release dates from the trailers. Now,
I didn't know that.
yeah, that was because they showed that earlier in other trailers, but they removed them now. So I'm going to go to you on this one, Michi. Back to the ladies first. How strange is that for one? And do you look at that as like kind of a strange ordeal that maybe Sony was kind of misleading people about the dates of when these games were supposedly coming out?
I don't know if it's misleading. They're just very strange lately.
Mhm.
It's not. I don't know. They're confused. I find them confusing, not and strange. Because why would you remove third party? I can understand removing your own timelines or dates or whatever you have, because maybe things have been pushed back or whatever. But why remove third party? It makes no sense. Unless you're not sure of what you have or you're getting tight on money or something because, you didn't sell as many PlayStation 5s as you thought you were going to sell or whatever. But I don't know. It's just strange. It's just PlayStation.
Oh man, so messy. Anyway,
I know. Sorry.
no. It's funny, but I mean, I don't know. I find it to be crazy. I don't know. What about you, Slayer? What do you think about this, man? What? Why would they do this?
And Sony, so I've mentioned this a couple of times when Sony, in fact, I think last night, when Sony finally had shown off the PlayStation 5 and the pricing and that whole thing where Walmart broke the street date immediately after. And this is a typical thing with Sony all the time. If the game isn't first party or exclusive because it's first party, then even if it's just coming to PC or if it's a timed exclusive, they'll put the little fine print at the very end with the logos and everything. They'll put suspect things. So the conversation all throughout their presentation, in the middle of their presentation, and it was going on Twitter and elsewhere, usually mainly Twitter, like, what game is this game really exclusive that they showed off, or is it multi-plat, or is it timed exclusive? And we come to find out that the majority of what they had showed really wasn't what they portrayed it to be in terms of the exclusivity or whatnot. Like, we didn't come to find out that Final Fantasy was also going to be on PC until after the fact. There was a number of games like that. So I think this is more like, yeah, and just like Emmanuel A1 said, they constantly lie. I'm not confused at all anymore. And when it comes to E3, they do that all the time. Every year they used to do that at E3. And they haven't done it recently because they didn't really have too much to show the last two E3s, I would say. The last two, right? So they really didn't have the opportunity to do it as much, but they would always not mention that a game that's might be multi-plat, but they're showing it off on their showcase, but they won't mention that it's multi-plat. It'll probably be, you can mention game. Let's say Dishonored. I don't know if Dishonored was on the Microsoft showcase at the time or if it was on Sony's, but that was a multi-plat, right? It was on every platform, right? But if it was on the Sony showcase, let's say, they would not show certain logos or try to obfuscate the information. And I feel like this is another example of that, but why go back? That's the part that's confusing. That's the part that has me going, huh? Like, what are they up to? What did they almost imply that they weren't supposed to, maybe? Or it just makes you start thinking, what are they up to? Because this is Sony, and they're constantly with this, as I've explained. This is something they're always up to no good when it comes to presenting a title, if it's exclusive or whatnot. Because if it was just flat out exclusive, they would just say and repeat it, and their fans would make sure you knew it, and there would be no debate if a game was exclusive. But there has to be debate and stuff. Something's up. This is Sony. They do this all the time. Something's up. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It is really suspicious. I don't know. What do you think about this, Sir X-Man?
I think Sony might be in more trouble than we think, because I'm going back to the bot thing when these people bought up all the consoles. The consoles aren't the main thing. Remember, they make their money on the software that they sell to the console. And with them not being able to get them out and they're sitting over in people's houses, they're not making no money.
Well, they got the PlayStation
if
4
they
still.
can't get
They're making plenty of money off the
right.
PlayStation 4.
Well, they're making money off PlayStation 4, but they'd rather have people paying the more money. Because remember, Sony's charging a lot of games $10 more for the next gen.
Yeah, that's true.
So those consoles aren't in people's hands. Plus, they were going to get a lot more subscribers to their service also, which is money that's getting taken away. So they're not shedding out the kind of money they did last gen until they get these other consoles out, and they can't get them out until they manufacture more. These people holding on to them. So by them not showing anything, they're not sure that they're going to have enough consoles to support a next gen right off the bat. So I'm assuming that they didn't want to show anything because they're not sure they're going to have enough consoles. They're going to still have to rely on the PlayStation 4. And they don't want to show anything for the PlayStation 4. They want to show things for the PlayStation 5. That's just my thought on it. I know it's a stretch, but that's how I'm feeling on it.
All right, okay, all right. And then last but not least, Logan, what do you think about this situation, man? I mean, is this problematic, or is this normal? I mean, what do you think?
Well, a couple things come to mind. One, it could be that the devs weren't ready for the dates to be released on these yet, so they yanked them after they got some back channel communication to Sony brass that, hey, kind of ticked you put the release date out there, we're not ready for it yet, and that could put unwanted pressure and stuff on these devs to meet a certain deadline, where if it's in the shadows, then there's less pressure and they can announce the release date when they're ready. Or maybe two, with COVID and all this other stuff has happened, this year has been predicted to be a year of many postponements and many pushback dates on things. So it wouldn't surprise me if maybe some of those games, or maybe all of them, the dates were no longer accurate. They had to push them back, so they yanked it. That would be my hunch, is it's one of those.
All right. Great points. All great points. I mean, I do think that it's just part of what they do. I mean, I haven't heard anybody really question them from Sony fans that I've seen on Twitter or anything, social media, Facebook, anything like that. They just kind of just let that go. I just think that if you're going to advertise something and then they have a a date or somewhere around where they were supposed to do it, then let people know. Don't just erase it and take. It goes back to the whole thing about when Jim Ryan was talking about, we believe in generations, and then all of a sudden, now we don't. And there really wasn't no true explanation of why. It's just, well, I kind of changed my mind on it. That's it. There really was no true negative feedback, even though there was negative feedback towards Xbox, and for them to still want to, you know not leave gamers behind. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's one of those things. I thought it was an interesting story. But okay, all right. Last topic of the night. All right. So this is for my boy Slayer. I hate the PK Wayne here, so they can talk about this. I don't know how familiar of anybody else on the panel is with CES, but I want to go and start off with you, Slayer, because I'll start off. I'll let you finish it off because you might have a lot more stuff to say that you were interested in.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea.
Yeah. So okay, so I'll go ahead. I'll start off with Mitchie. If did you even check it out? And if you did, what were some of the things that you enjoyed from seeing from CES?
Not check it out. It was not on my radar. Nope, not at all. I figure I'll see the stuff eventually,
Uh-huh.
By the time the, $20,000 TV comes down to the real market,
Right.
Though it's not in my wheelhouse. You can move on from me.
All right.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I think this was going to be real quick. I really do. Sir X-Man, what about you? I already know your answer, but
I just won the Masters, baby, in golf, baby. I'm good.
Okay,
75 achievement points. I'm good.
Okay, so thank you for answering that question.
I want that 3060. I want that 3060 from graphics card. That's what I saw at CDS. I was like, man, that thing's about $300, but it's got more power than the 2070, bro. But guess what? You won't be able to get it because when it comes out in February, all these bots gonna eat it up and it's gone, and they're gonna charge you like about $1,000 for a $300 graphics card.
They're not even gonna do that. Bitcoin is back in effect. They're keeping them to make themselves money.
God, I heard about that on Linus and another guy. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
Jesus.
They're gonna have to They're gonna have to change something about that because it's gonna only get worse now. But
it's getting old, man. Because a lot of people are saying
there are people that still don't have.
We can't build a computer.
Series X's and PlayStation 5. So I mean, just think about what the PC community is going through with these graphic cards right now.
Dude, it's hurting. It's hurting.
Question?
Yeah.
How does Bitcoin affect that?
Because they use those video cards to generate the Bitcoin, and that's like one of the most effective ways to do it.
Earn money. They make money off of it. They make free money off of it. There's places and countries that got whole buildings with graphics cards in them, all dedicated to making that Bitcoin money. Whole country support it.
So if you're an investor and you haven't already invested in Bitcoin, I would advise you to do that immediately before then.
Because Bitcoin about to go up.
About to blow up. And if you go back and check out how about 50 Cent, why he stopped rapping, why he stopped doing albums.
You're making that Bitcoin money.
Because he's had that Bitcoin money. That's exactly what happened with him. So, definitely get your stocks up.
Hey, KMEGA, if you like me, right?
Something in there. What up?
Yeah, I still don't understand how that makes money. I still will never understand it.
Oh man, there's a lot of money traveling through Bitcoin, bro. A lot of money. But yeah, okay. But anyway,
then the newer TVs. I'm like, oh my God, I want that. I saw that transparent television. I want that to come down in price because I want that Did you guys see that?
No.
That's transparent television that you can just see right through the other wall. Man, that'd be perfect mounted on a clear wall, man. It's just magnificent, bro.
Wow.
Amen. Sleepy. Need his games back up pat for these games. Yeah, no, just to point to laugh at them.
I know, right?
Oh yeah. I know. Yeah, the
THQ. That's why we ain't make games no more.
I thought THQ got bought by somebody. I know.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, but it was a game trailer's
yeah.
joke video I'm quoting. Anyway.
Oh yeah, no, but yeah, those 50 Cent games were fire. They were really good.
Oh, I know that last one that was on the Xbox 360. That game was dope.
Yeah, it was really
You
good.
guys are being serious right now.
Yeah, you didn't like that game? That game was fire.
Listen,
It was
listen,
badass,
maybe
too.
you have to take the PK role right now, but those games were laughed at for being the most generic bullshit.
No,
Like,
PK.
What are you
PK.
talking about? That game got high ratings.
That game got
That game was fire.
8.5 by
Yeah.
IGN back in the day,
That
dude.
game was dope. What are you
That
talking
game
about?
was
Both of them
fire.
were. Okay, anyway.
That's when Adam
let me ask-
Sessler was
the
around.
games are mindless fun. Like shit. If you're having fun with them, I'm not gonna knock you.
Oh my God. Let me go to Logan on this. Let me go to
He
Logan.
probably hate that Rumble game that you like. What is it? The one with the rappers and stuff.
Oh no, who didn't love that? Get out of
Just
here.
damn.
I New York
goodness.
especially.
All right, so Logan, what do you think, man? What did you see anything from CES? And if you did, what did you like? What was your favorite stuff that you seen?
I haven't watched the showcase itself. I watched the PlayStation one brief just to get the highlights for their games that they were talking about and dates. So from that event, my highlight would be Returnal. I'm a big horror movie game and movie junkie, so I'm really excited for that. And then Medium. So having those and within a 3-month span, some high quality horror games. I'm really excited about that in particular, and that they announced that they're going to be making more of their game properties into shows and movies, which I think would be a fascinating thing that Xbox should consider as well. Because, I mean, imagine that the Perfect Dark reboot goes amazingly, then you could totally make a show out of that, like Alias style or something like that, or a movie like Jason Bourne. And then there's so many properties that they have that would do awesome in other media formats. So those were my highlights from that particular thing.
Now, you see, you're saying something that Xbox did try to attempt to do in the beginning of the Xbox One generation, and it got destroyed for it. And what we got from it was one of my favorite games of last gen, and that was Quantum Break. And because you had that, and you had the TV show. Yeah, absolutely. You know what's funny is because
Quantum Break was fire.
Oh yeah, Quantum Break was great, but
I love that game.
But you see how if let's say that Quantum Break came out this generation, and now since everybody's now kind of acclimated into services and things like that, I think that Quantum Break would have had a better reception from a lot of gamers because, like you said, there's a lot of gamers that's like you know what I'm saying, Logan, and they want to have a TV show and stuff like that. It's just that gamers back then was not for it. I don't know why, but I don't know. What do you think about that, chat? I think that it was. I don't know. That's a great idea. I would love to bring it back. But they shut down those studios though.
If people weren't into television style games, we wouldn't have played 1 versus 100 on the old 360, dude.
That was a great game.
Well, Phil's going to bring that back. Phil's going to definitely bring
He said that?
No, yeah. Well, he said he was going to bring back something like that. Like, well, he didn't. You know how Phil is. The only time that Phil kind of came direct about the things when I had that discussion with Phil, I showed that picture of him, which that was a bad picture of him, but but I just was trying to get the picture. I had it wrong. I had it at a bad angle. You know what I'm saying? But he was adamant about the exclusive stuff. He was adamant. Like he was like, no. He had a grin on his face, everything. But he was definitely, because people asked him about that. About the 1 versus 100, and he was like, and they were trying to, because when you jumped into there, they had a little quiz thing, and and when you jump and you did the quiz thing or whatever, people started mentioning like, hey, why don't you do this again?
Avatar on the stage,
and he was
right?
Like, yeah, you know what? I could definitely look into doing that. So yeah, I think that's something in the works. It won't be 1 versus 100 because I think that show is gone, but. Yeah, they could definitely bring another trivia show.
But they have the game rights for it though, so they could still do it.
I don't know.
It could be a similar concept, something new entirely.
Yeah,
just
it would have
in
to be
that
something
same vein.
new. Because the show itself is canceled. So therefore, even though they have the game rights, that still doesn't equate to what the show.
Like the game better than the show, Kay.
Well, no, I think yeah, no doubt about it. But I'm saying like there's red tape behind that. They can't just throw that back. That's something that had its own show and property and stuff like that, and probably maybe some legal stuff. So just
They
make
got
your
the
own
money.
trivia. Yeah, no, make your own trivia show. That's simple.
But they do have that Halo show coming out on Showtime pretty soon.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
So-
Yeah. So I do hate the fact that they, that they closed down, that Xbox Studios, because it's like what you were saying, Logan. Like that would be great, but I just think the timing, everything what the Xbox One tried to do, was just not at the right time. The only thing that did get passed was of course digital content, because there's more people that buy more digital games than they buy hard copies now. And now, if you even look now, like they couldn't stand the Snap feature. They didn't like all those features on the Xbox One when it first came out. They got Snap. They got Snap. Yeah, they miss it, and now they got Snap feature on PlayStation. Oh, that's a full feature. Like, bro, what? Y'all would slap. Whatever. Anyway, all right, guys.
I know you missed your Snap because you would have been watching your football game while you was playing the game.
I was still playing the game, watching the football, because I can put I can put a little monitor on my PC screen and play the game while
you
while
do
I'm
your
watching the game.
PC now.
Yeah. So I can still do it, but yeah, I'm playing the hell out of it, Dragon Age Inquisition. Like I'm 130 hours in deep. Like that's a massive game. I had no idea that game was that big.
Oh yeah, I started playing it before. I know. Trust me, I know. Oh my
but
God.
it's really good though. It's really good. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get out of here, man. Let people have their Saturday nights. Okay. Let's start off with the lady. Mitchie, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
Get to him.
What?
Did we forget something?
Oh, I did that on purpose because I didn't want to hear anything that you had to say about CES.
If it's like that, then hang up.
No, I'm playing. I just forgot. I got old. Anyway, I was ready to go.
At a jet anyway. I got to go set up this Need for Speed over on the Xbox.
Then we should go anyway, because CS was just really. This was what I'm gonna say. Is CS was a bit of a cluster in the past 2 years. I like the fact that Logan kept it real gaming when he spoke his piece on it, because really, in gaming wise, all they really showed off was stuff that's just on the horizon, like Returnal and stuff, and Medium. So it was good to see those. Returnal, it kind of reminds me of what Mass Effect Andromeda looked like when they were first showing it off, because like the graphics and gunplay were really good, and so it kind of looks like that. Every time I see it, I instantly think of Mass Effect Andromeda a little bit. So that game is looking really good. So whenever I get a PS5, if that game ends up as good as it looks, definitely gonna get that. But CS in and of itself, there was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of new TV technologies that are really just stopgaps, because this isn't really a year of new stuff. But you see like the transparent OLEDs, flexible OLEDs, all things like that. But CS this year just was really not that crazy with announcements and showing off new things. So this is really a transitional year, So nothing too serious that happened this year.
No, you just wanted to just say that. I thought you really had something to say. You gonna stop me from just saying that? Anyway.
Do you think Returnal is like worth a $70 game?
Woof.
I don't know yet. I'm just saying graphically, it kind of reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda, but Mass Effect Andromeda was a total clusterfuck. So, I mean, graphically, I'm not saying it looks like it's gonna be a bad game. I have no idea if the game is gonna be.
Oh man, Sleepy Goblin said Returnal is the greatest adventure of an old librarian has ever had. Oh my goodness, disrespectful.
There's only one game There's only one game that would be worth $70 to $100, and that's the remake of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, right, KMEGA?
No, I'm not paying no $70. I'm not paying $70 for
$70. I'm gonna get the arcade port with that.
Yo, you can gift it to me, but I'm not. But I'll pay regular $60 for it, but I'm not paying no $70 for no Marvel. You know what I'm saying? I'd be ecstatic.
I would.
Oh, I know you and quite a few people would. But All right, the only thing for me that I seen from CES, it don't laugh, but that was the only thing I seen because I was like, let me go through and check because I didn't get to see it this year. So I went, and the first thing that caught my attention was a vibrator that that stimulated stimulated the woman with a beat to a beat of music. That's it.
Why would you want that?
Dude, all
That's
you
the
gotta
first thing
do
I
is just
seen. It was the first thing I seen.
sit on top of the bass speaker, man. That's all you gotta do.
That's the first thing that I seen. It was right there. You can go check it out at CES. It was the first thing that was. I said, "What the hell?" It was supposed to go with the beat of the song that's playing. So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty dope." But other than that, I
You could've
mean,
kept that to
There's no
yourself.
need for that.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
not. There's not. And I told my wife, I said, "You know what?" I said, "You know what? Remember when I could do that with the beat like
Oh
that?"
God.
Oh, anyway, okay, I'm an old man.
Now it's done turned to GRG After Dark.
No, it's not. That's it. GRG is done.
Boy.
Everybody, thank you for coming and checking us out. Let's go ahead and get people out of here. Mitchie, thank you for coming again. I hope this ain't the last time we see you. You're great. You're a little messy today, but you're feeling good about your Packers. Congratulations again. But where everybody can find you at?
Twitter at Mitchie19 or Mitchie71, and then on Xbox Mitchie1971.
Nice, nice, nice. All right. Uh, Logan, thank you, man. I really do appreciate it, man. I hope you had fun, man. I hope this is the last time that we'll interact. But yeah, man, this was really fun, man. So let everybody know where they can find you at, man.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure meeting y'all. I had a fun evening. You can find me at Twitter is mainly where I hang out. LOGMEY92 is my tag. Find me on Xbox at GT Urbocharged 02. And then if you like basketball content, like I mentioned earlier, I write for Bricktown Buckets. So yeah, that's where I dwell.
Nice. All right. Thunder up. Yes. You know what I'm saying? If you're a Thunder fan, man, go check out his writings. Go check out his stuff, man. It's really good stuff. And of course, man, he's always posting stuff about the Thunder when the games are on, man. It cracks me up. And then there's always good engagement. And I'm pretty sure like he's just a sports enthusiast all the way through, just kind of like,
Bucks.
like everybody on this panel except for Slayer. But other than that, man, Sir X Man, thank you for coming on, brother,
You
man.
stupid
It was
Bucks.
fun.
Anytime, bro. You know I got you, man.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. Where can they find you at, man?
Well, tomorrow night you're gonna see me on Fight Night. Don't know what game we're gonna play, but we're just gonna go Russian roulette. Me, KMEGA, and the crew gonna get down around 9 o'clock God's time, which is central, and
Absolutely.
that's about it. Gamer tag
Weirdos.
is Sir X Man. I heard that. Gamer
Good.
tag is
That's what
Sir
I'm
X Man, just like you see, and at Twitter at Sir X Man 1, and on Twitch as Sir X Man 1.
Nice.
That's about it.
Excellent. And I do like the fact that you said God's time to let everybody that's not in
Weirdos.
God's time know.
Hey, Michi's in God's time.
Y'all weirdos then. Whatever.
So that's what I said. So there's only one that's in the wrong time. We're
Hey,
sorry about
hey,
that,
man.
With the wrong team, no, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
Bruh.
Oh man. All right.
I
So
don't know if my team wins.
Slayer, where can they find you at, brother? And tell us about that bad time that you got out there on the East Coast.
Oh man, I don't know about the bad time. All I know is you see the name, okay? You know how it's spelled or misspelled as it is. Twitter, every game platform that's not owned by Nintendo. You'll find me there. And next week, as always, right here on GRG.
All right, nice, excellent. All right, guys, thank you again for coming and stopping by, checking me out. Just kind of out this random, show. Didn't really kind of know, because I didn't know how people, if they would be able to come or not. And then on top of that, there was, football and things like that. So I do appreciate all you guys who came and come check this out. Yeah, check out next week's GRG. On the list, we supposed to have Incognito, and my boy Clay Simmons, and then since Clowns couldn't make it last night, he said that he'll try to come next week. So that should be a really big show. So come and check us out next week on GRG. I don't know when I'll have another one of these GRG extras, but I'm not going to do them every week, but I will do I will do them, you know, maybe once or twice a month, and I will just be bringing in people, you know, for whoever. And if people here, if they got the time that they want to come and want to say some things, if there's a big story or just want to just talk about gaming, man, hey, y'all are more than welcome. But do appreciate it. So everybody, man, y'all have a good weekend. I will see you tomorrow, or matter of fact, you might see me tonight because I might start streaming. So I don't know. Don might try to want to play something. I know these guys
Nah,
want to try to play something. You said no. You said
I
no.
want you in Need for Speed tonight,
Oh
bro.
man, so it's gonna be a tug of war. So I'm gonna have an old black man want me to do
Core's
something. Then
gonna be there.
I'm gonna have an old
Core's
white
gonna
man
be
want me to
there.
do something. That's gonna be crazy.
Your boy Unstable gonna be there. You gotta be there, bro. You gotta be there, man.
All right, man. Everybody have a good night. God bless.
All right,
Peace.
peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.